Hello, guys! So, England's in the final! That's my lovely husband. He's not a football fan, don't worry, me and my son are. And we had to do a piece of art for the football. Just had to happen. And thank you for shaking that. I'm trying a few different styles at the moment when it comes to my art and what's going to go up on the channel. I'm going to keep up with the tutorials and running them, but I have a few new cool things coming up. I've got some papers to try, including papyrus, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm not quite sure what's going to go work on it, but we'll see. I've got some ancient paper, I've got some fans I'm going to be making art on. But for today, I'm going to be working with some markers. I'm going to be making what hopefully will look like a footballer in motion. We're going to be drawing a character, and it should be a bit of fun. I'm going to show you what's very much more a style that I like to draw in, and yeah. Hopefully you'll enjoy it and hopefully you'll learn a little bit along the way. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to go down to front basic now. Come along. Okay guys, so football, I'm going to be calling it football for most of this because I've always called it football. If you wish to call it soccer in your own head, fair enough. But it's going to be football. We're going to make a very colourful football. I have some Copic markers. You'll find that these are the only Copic markers I own. They were an anniversary gift from my husband. They're very expensive. They're not going to be my normal choice. And other than that, I have a pack of neon Promarkers that I'm going to be working with too. We're not going to be working with any other colour but them. They will be more than enough to do the entire piece. And then I've otherwise got some of my lovely trusty uniballs for my line work and a mechanical pencil to start us off. So we're just going to start by drawing a very basic, our outlines of our piece, which is so important when you're doing this kind of work, is to start with what you want, because otherwise you can just get lost in it. I mean, you can, if you're super confident, go straight in and put your piece of work on there, but for me, I want to know where I'm going. So I want to know where my person is, what they're doing, and I generally have preferred to put this line on first. So I've got my head and I want to know which way they're looking. Well, I'm going to have them going this way, and I want this line always usually curving the way in which they're looking, and I'm very much an advocate on this line. It shouldn't be a straight line, it should be curved if they're looking up, curved up if they're looking down, curved down. This one I'm having them very much going to be following the direction of the ball, and then I'm going to be drawing the line on for their feet, their nose, their mouth. Very interesting to draw the feet there. I'm not drawing an alien footballer. So anything else then I can add in when I add in features. Their face doesn't remain exactly this shape. I'm going to be drawing a footballer in motion, so I will be adding some very interesting looking lines to this as I go, but I need to just take into account some very basic body shape parts first. So this footballer is very much going to be playing for England and winning the game for us against Italy, I'm certain. But he's not going to be wearing an English strip, or she isn't, because we're going to be taking this to a fantasy level. So we're going to have a very colourful strip, and we're going to have a very interesting looking player. Because when you're drawing him with fantasy style things like this, you can just make things look a little bit more interesting and a little bit more vibrant and have a bit of fun with it. So I've drawn where both those shoulder sockets will be, and this one will come out to about here, and he's going to be steadying himself as he comes out to the wrist sockets and down like this. Now when you're rough sketching, you don't need to worry as much about getting every little, now this one's going to be around the back of the head, so it doesn't need to be as pronounced, but every little bit doesn't need to be perfect. You've got your trusty rubber, and look, these little lines, they easily just vanish into the distance, and we can just then also give him his football strip, which this line here will go like that. Oh, there's actually got that way around, that line will, because of how we're looking at him, and this one here will also will go more like that. But he is all that line, all of it will be disappearing. So we've got his hand, in which we're not going to see very much of at all because of the positioning in which he's at. So it's scrunch off into the distance, but we'll see more of why that's going to be as we continue with the bees. So, which I still think that might be a little small. I need to add a little bit more bulk to it. So that's got just features to the interior of the arm might help. And show the wrist coming out. There we go, that might work. And that's where we need to be. Take time when sketching. So, we've got the legs, we've got hip joints to work with, and we've got coming out to the knees. So, we've got our legs here, and football players, they're going to be wearing shorts. Now this side, if we're looking at them, shorts would be like this. So we can see, a lot more. We'll have to join the underside up to it. And then can come down nicely to this ankle that will be on the floor, ready to move later on. Now, one thing I will say is it's very easy to be very caught up on perfection when you're drawing. The kind of shot I'm about to do, a lot more movement within this piece of art. So as soon as I start working on some of those, perfection will go out the window because it's about blurring. You see this here? I'm going to curve around like that angle. Because we're looking at the different angle of the shot, we're not going to be able to see this bit here, so that curves like that. Then again, we've got the knee, but this time it's going to go all the way up like that. And that's because this footballer is about to go kick a winning goal. I'll have him in. So there we go. So, he definitively needs something to kick for that winning goal, doesn't he? So, when you try to draw a circle, it can be quite hard. So if you really lightly hold onto that pencil and just draw like that, eventually this circle shape does actually start to emerge. And it starts to emerge as a perfect circle. Which is actually a really nifty trick. Now they have this really annoying pattern to draw on doubles, but we'll start with the pentagon like that, and then we're going to just start filling in these hexagons. And trust me, these shapes have driven me absolutely potty for a long time, being a tomboy all my life. So, and I never quite get them right, so I'm not going to 100% try it today. I'm just going to make it look like a football. Now, we're going to fix on up some of these issues a bit more as we go in, but I want to make sure that shirt starts to look like a shirt now. And the shorts start to look a bit more like a short, and I want to move my angle a bit so I can get a bit of a better view to what I'm doing up here. So let's have a look. So I've got this here, and so I'm going to have them crunched over, I think. that there. So the arm can move like that. Have them in like that for the charge. And that works. So, need to start thinking about the shape of the face a bit more, which means we need to start adding eyes. Very important. Now, obviously we can go for ultra realistic, but I'm going to actually add a little bit of caricature style look to it. So, but we've got a shadow. I can use the shadows from natural shadowing there to make the bridge of the nose. I can use the bit natural from underneath. Make a very easy bridge there without having to worry too much. And they're going to be really excited and running up and down that pitch all the day. So let's have them running, excited, out of breath, big smile on their face, enjoying what they're doing. And need ears. And instead we're going to go for the girls teams. So this is something I always found really cool was football, so I'm going to go for, if I was ever getting a chance, but you know, one thing was really important was always having that hair tied back. Now I'm going to say we wouldn't see much of that tied back look, so whenever bubble that kind of had it as if it was in a really high ponytail, kind of exaggerating how high it is, just for the sake of having something to show there. Obviously don't want to forget eyebrows. Drawing into the chin, we can give some nice cheekbones there. We can go in a little bit of the eye, and out round there. And then we can start adding some pen work. When I add pen work, we're going to speed up a little bit over here, and probably do a bit of speed drawing here. First sketch lines that I'm putting on, and as you can see we've got a basic outline now of what I'm aiming for with the footballer. As I said, we were going to look at how to add movement, and that is one of the core things I was doing with this. So we've got our first sketch lines, but the idea is to show what would happen if the camera jutted basically after it took a photo and it kept moving. So the idea would be that foot would keep coming forward and slowly the frames will lighten. And I've done a couple of practice pictures doing this. I've got one I can show you just before that I did yesterday. Turned out really nicely. Just thought I wasn't coming in blind with this really random wacky idea and thinking it wouldn't work. So I did that yesterday. So this is what I'm aiming for with the football. So hopefully I can manage to replicate this idea onto here. So I'm going to do the same thing. Each time we're going to draw this foot getting closer to this football. I want to basically have it going round and round to the connection point. That's where that happens. So let's have a look. That comes close, so that line goes up, and the bend still goes all the way up to there. And that occurs the same there. So you get to watch me really fast now as I do the same across this entire video. I make the lines and ink up all those lines. So guys, another point I'm about to add colour, and it should be kind of cool. That leg in particular, because she wouldn't have moved it anywhere in making that kick. It was all about standing up on the leg, which is a really cool effect. That arm should move down. I think that one would be moving through. And that leg moves to there. We've got, I think, 5 to move into it, and then the speed of the ball means the ball would move significantly faster than anything else. So I'm going to have some cool effects going on with that with the colours. So, as anyone probably have seen these being used, so I have some Copics. As I said, they're so expensive they won't normally get used for normal stuff because I can't afford them. But I'm enjoying playing with my anniversary present, and Windson and Utah markers, which are a lot more in my price range, which actually work just as well, thankfully. And I have some neons of them, which will work brilliantly for this kind of effect. So I'm going to start by using some colours to blend a skin tone. So start with putting a pink base down and go from there. Now I'm not going for a perfect colouring skill here. I'm going for more rough because colours would be going everywhere. So, and because it's late over here and my hands are never steady at this time of day, but this kind of style doesn't tend to care as much for perfection, which is good. So let's just lay on some of this where it's needed as the base, and it will be needed for wherever these movements occur, but I don't want to do any of them until I've got the initial character down before I start doing any of the movement pieces, because I think she should be in place first. So let's go with adding some this first to I haven't got an actual colourless blender with me, so I'm going with their natural blending abilities, which do work quite well, but you do have to sometimes work at it, but it's fine, willing to. And it may not get the most perfect skin colour out of all this, but we're not fussed here. This is just about a bit of fun, celebrating football and the fact that England actually got to an international final, which I've been waiting my entire life to see. Those that don't know me or haven't seen my Instagram, which is where I actually have a lot more of my base, I am the biggest tomboy out there. This is super cool and something that I am really thrilled that has occurred. So, especially after the last 18 months, so something to really celebrate, and it's really nice that we've got something like this. So I hate that side of the markers. Just going to use the reds on the lips. It's a real darkness, it's really good also for tones like that. And I really actually wish I had some kind of blender, but look at the way that it's starting to come through anyway. Even without one, we're starting to get a really nice rich tone to her skin just by layering, which is beautiful. Look at that. So I would say I would talk to you through all doing that, but I will bore you senseless, so I'm going to let you watch and enjoy the colouring process. Let's see how this turns out. We've got the convergence points, which look messy always at this point, which always make me worry a bit, but let's go. They don't actually usually turn out looking like that, so the further away they are, the lighter the colour I end up painting them. So the pale pink from the strip will be right at this end, the shorts, and the red goes up to there, and then it's just a case of painting and drawing again. So, see you in a bit. Sorry guys. So she's got all the core colouring in bits done. I'm now going to go around with the Signo pens, and this is just a bit of neating up. As you can see, this kind of drawing, it's very free and loose. It's not about aiming for getting between the lines perfectly, or it's about trying to show movement. So trying to actually get perfectly between the lines kind of actually defines that point. So just trying to neaten a few little bits up now, so we're not trying to show all details for all these parts that I've moved. Only the core picture needs the details. So you can see I ended up giving her a little England strip because I realised I could give her an away strip. So I thought, you know what, why not? As you can see, foot's go through, and I think I missed a leg. I did. See? Final foot has no leg. There we go. That's a problem. But easily rectified. All this, her arm goes through, her arm comes down, this leg stays on the foot, so she slowly stands up on this leg and scores a goal. This moves faster. We've got these, and now I'm going to put these away because this is where I start to lose pens because I put them in the wrong place. I'm going to do one of the other things I did with the other picture, which means I need all of these, I have got all of them, is a couple of bits that just make it look a little bit jazzier, which is this has moving down, got loads of movement going on in here, so I'm going to do a few little marks that kind of signify that movement, and neons are super cool for that. So some nice bright yellow. Let's all of them out so I can get to them a bit easier without wrestling this every time. Let's have a look. And these blend just as well as the Copics, thankfully, or in my opinion they do. But they do like better quality paper. They do seem to pick up little paper balls, so that they do seem to prefer the better quality paper. That's the only issue I found with them. Now that's my issue. Other people may other issues there, and I can do a side-by-side comparison if anyone wants, but I'm sure you can find them out there. It's something I'm willing to do though, so here we go. This kind of burst though we can do, and then obviously I would do at the bottom here something to show a little shadowing effect as well as movement. So for that you can do more of a like skiddy light style thing, and I would merge that with a blue and a pink because that also goes into making more of a shadow. Make this lovely purple colour look. Beautiful for the reflections as well as showing movement. That colour is just gorgeous, isn't it? What beautiful blend from neons. And what shall we add into that as the final mix? I think, how yellow do you think? We could get a bit of green if we mix a bit of yellow in there, couldn't we? Yeah, look at that. Look at that shade of green. And then we can get its own colour at the top. And that orange. Whoa. What a playing field they've got to play on there. It's definitely a different one, isn't it? So we've obviously got a lot of movement coming on from this side and up here. So again, we want to show that it's occurring and it's at this kind of angle here. So use the yellows, get a bit of orange this time. And you don't have to do it this way because this is completely my own random way of doing anything that I decided to do one night when I was stressed, and it was a way that just completely chilled me out of drawing. So this is me showing you something that works for me, that I like to draw. If you like it, go ahead and give it a go. So then we've got the back here. There's a lot coming from out the back here, a lot of movement. Definitely worth highlighting. I love that purple we made, so I'm going to make a bit more out here. So, and then I'm going to have a little bit of a starburst kind of style effect going on. And then finally, just to show that her arm is doing something, but just not as major. But there is still movement coming on from it. I'm just going to have a little bit of orange. It's kind of clung to the arm, going round, and the hair is always groovy and amazing on these pictures. Always get movement going from the hair. They just add something to it, a bit of jazz and a bit of fun. And let's have a bit of hand movement from the top. And then let's just not forget that that ball is the key thing. That ball is what's going to win the game for us. That going into the net as well as, of course, the skill from the players. So let's remember that. So this is obviously a bit of fun, bit of vibrancy, loads of colour on one page, but it's all about just having a bit of fun and a bit of silliness with movement. Now, England is playing in the European Cup Championships tonight, so this is why this is out today, and I am completely and utterly behind my own nation's team for this. I have been wanting to watch this since I was a kid, and we had the championships in our own country, and I can't wait to see it tonight. So go England, and yeah, I hope we win. Otherwise, though, stay safe and well. If you're going to watch the game down in Wembley tonight, have a pint. On me, not on me literally, but for me, we'll say it that way. Have a pint for me and enjoy yourself. Keep each other safe and well out there, guys. Otherwise, if you're not supporting England, just enjoy. Not supporting Italy, just not your thing at all. Enjoy the art, and I'll see you next time. Bye.